Good afternoon, everyone. It's an incredible privilege to be able to present a resolution from the Illinois House of Representatives commemorating Dr. Paris Donehoo's time and service at First Congregational Church of Elgin. But before I do that, I just wanted to give a couple personal thoughts and remarks to Pastor Donehoo on his retirement. When we moved to Elgin about 20 years ago, we were looking for a church home where we could raise our children in a faith community. And we looked for a really long time. We weren't comfortable with the place that we had tried out. And quite frankly, there was a time in my life where I was questioning my faith and questioning the direction of the church and the tone of the Christian church. We know that there are some divisions, and I was questioning whether or not this was something that I wanted to continue to include as part of my life, being raised as a Lutheran as a child. And after coming to First Congregational and hearing Pastor and his message of inclusion and his message of love and social justice and the challenge to make us better people and to put the practice of Christ's teachings to work in our everyday lives really spoke to me. And I thank him for that, because that was a tremendous gift that he gave to me and he gave to my family. And so with that, I'm going to truly miss his leadership and his service to First Congregational. I'm lucky to call him a neighbor and a friend and somewhat of a spiritual advisor. And I'm very happy for him on his future endeavors, but it is a bittersweet moment for me to say goodbye to him as our pastor at First Congregational. So thank you to you, and thank you to your family, and for their sacrifice of your time and their service to our church. I know that being a pastor is a 24-hour-a-day job, and I appreciate the sacrifices you've made to serve our community. So thank you so much for all of that. And I thank you for your service to Elgin, the community conversations that we've had, confronting some of the tougher issues that we face as a society. I think you've gone above and beyond what the typical pastor has done. So I thank you for that as well. So with that, it is my honor and privilege to read to you House Resolution number 111, offered by me in the Illinois House of Representatives. Whereas the members of the Illinois House of Representatives wish to congratulate Paris Donehoo on the occasion of his retirement as senior pastor of the First Congregational Church of Elgin. And whereas Paris Donehoo was born in Atlanta, Georgia on August 14, 1952, and raised in the Georgia towns of Decatur and Roswell, he attended Kennesaw College and was ordained by the First Baptist Church of Roswell in December of 1973. He received his Bachelor of Arts from Georgia Southern University in 1974 with a major in history and a minor in journalism. He graduated from Southwestern Baptist Theological Seminary in 1977 with a Master of Divinity. And whereas Paris Donehoo served as pastor of the Sardis Baptist Church from 1977 until 1980, and then as pastor of the Lost Mountain Baptist Church until 1990. In 1988, he received a Doctor of Ministry from Columbia Theological Seminary. From 1991 until 2000, he served as senior minister at Park Ridge Community Church in Park Ridge. He briefly served as hospice chaplain for the West Suburban Hospital in Oak Park, and then returned to the pastorate in 2002 as senior pastor of the First Congregational Church of Elgin, where he has served until his retirement in 2018. 11 years he served as an adjunct professor in the Doctor of Ministry and Preaching program at Chicago Theological Seminary. And whereas Pastor Donehoo is the author of Prayer in the Life of Jesus and numerous articles in various magazines and journals such as Christian Ministry, The Other Side, Eternity, and Christian Century, his upcoming book, Polarized, Confronting the Collapse of Truth, Civility, and Community in Divided Times, is due in the fall of 2018. And whereas Paris Donehoo has 2 children from his first marriage, Meg Pfister and Catherine Kennan, and 2 stepchildren, Rachel Georgia Caucus and Matthew Houlihan, and with his current wife, Penny. Between them, they have 6 grandchildren. Therefore, be it resolved by the House of Representatives of the 100th General Assembly of the State of Illinois that we congratulate Paris Donehoo on his retirement as senior pastor of the First Congregational Church of Elgin, and we wish him the best in all of his future endeavors. And be it further resolved that we present a suitable copy of this to you, Pastor Donehoo, as a symbol of our respect and admiration.
Thank you, Anna. And our City Councilman, Councilwoman, Joe Rushenberger.
Hi, thank you. I'm also honored to be here today to represent Mayor Captain and the City of Elgin to read a proclamation that we gave to Paris Donehoo earlier this month. Can you hear okay? Whereas Pastor Paris Donehoo was born on August 14, 1952 in Atlanta, Georgia, and while a freshman at Kennesaw College, he sensed God's call to ministry and was ordained by the First Baptist Church at Roswell in December of 1973. And whereas Pastor Donehoo received a Bachelor of Arts degree from Georgia Southern University in 1974, a Master's of Divinity degree from Southwestern Baptist Theological Seminary in 1977, and a Doctor of Ministry degree from Columbia Theological Seminary in 1988. And whereas in 2002, after many years of continuing ministry at various locations, Pastor Donehoo became senior pastor at the First Congregational Church of Elgin, Illinois, where he served 16 years until his retirement on June 3rd, 2018. And whereas Pastor Donehoo has been active in the Elgin community, working to bring peace and unity through his involvement in various community organizations and as a member of the Coalition of Elgin Religious Leaders. And whereas Donehoo has 2 children by his first marriage, Meg Pfister and Catherine Kennan, and 2 stepchildren, Rachel Georgakis and Matthew Houlihan, and by his current wife, Penny, and between them they have 6 grandchildren. Now, therefore, I, David Captain, Mayor of the City of Elgin, Illinois, do hereby extend the City of Elgin's sincere appreciation and esteem to Reverend Dr. Paris Donehoo for his outstanding service to the First Congregational Church of Elgin and to the Elgin community on the occasion of his retirement on June 3rd.
Thank you very much. There's a lot of math problems in there with all the dates and stuff, so anybody want to add those up, we can figure out dates and how old he is and all that good stuff. So if you get a little distracted later, you can do that. We are going to have actually a performance at this time, one of our first performances today by our own Angel Band. So we are going to, well, that's a special surprise. You're not included, I don't think. So we're going to call them up to present to us that perennial hit. Let me just check the title of that so I don't get it incorrect. May the bird of paradise fly up your nose.
I'm actually.
Okay. I'm sorry. I haven't seen any yet. And it's good. It's really good.
All right. So we rehearsed this after the service today. So, and not really. All right. Everybody ready? This rendition of the song includes special lyrics by Meg. I don't know where Paris is, but oh, hey, there you are. So, finally found a way to keep you quiet and put food in front of you, huh? It's been a blast being an H band with Paris. He originally invited me in, then Matthew came along, then Wade came along, and I thought, well, what's the point of getting out of the house? Take them all with me. But Paris said, you know, we'd get to play with someone who could really play the banjo. And yeah, we're still waiting, Paris. So, here we go.
One day Paris, he was meeting with a bride, with her trusty wedding binder by her side. She just wants her Uncle Walter to take video on the altar, and Paris tried to keep this thought inside. May the bird of paradise fly up your nose. May an elephant caress you with its toes. May your wife be played with runners in her hose. And may the bird of paradise fly up your nose. When the band called out for everyone to stand, Paris won't be moved to even clap his hand. He says, I paid for this ticket, so I'm sitting here like a cricket. And the singer says this as the crowd is scanned. May the bird of paradise fly up your nose. May an elephant caress you with its toes. May your wife be played with runners in her hose. And may the bird of paradise fly up your nose. Take it, Jeff.
more time for the Angel Band. Nice job. Thank you. So we are going to begin with our first of the 86 speakers that wanted to talk today. But we've limited it down to 9 for your pleasure. And the first is actually Lois Booger, who is here to do a brief presentation also from the staff. Lois, come on up. We're also pleased to announce Lois has her own rendition of a special song. No, I'm just kidding. She won't. We'll spare you that.
Actually, I'm going to begin by inviting Gene Roethlisberger and Judge Schloman to come up here. And while they're making their way up here, can you hear me? While they're making their way up here, I want you to know that when Paris came to Elgin, Howard Bachman wrote a song to him, which was called We Love Paris. And sung to We Love Paris in the springtime. And so Gene Roethlisberger and Judge Schloman wrote new words for you, Paris. And the song sheet is on your table. And so join them. Well, this might take a minute for them to get organized, so I'll just go ahead with what I wanted to present. But Paris, you're going to have to quit beating your face and come on up here. Paris. See, it's like always. He's not even listening to me. Paris, we're going to need you up here for a couple of different things. So don't let them take your plate, but come on up here. I wanted to, I have to tell you, people were taking bets on how long it would be before I was blubbering today. And I want you to know I've made it thus far, and so I'm going to, what? Yeah, I've had some close calls, but made it thus far, so I'm going to still try to keep it light. I want to share a story while they're getting, are you ready? Okay. So when I first came here, one of the things I was very jealous of it was obvious that Paris was gifted with a 5-drawer file cabinet frame. And I always told him that. And God only gifted me with maybe a 2-drawer, if anything. And so Paris always had all this great knowledge and information and a lot of junk. A lot of useless junk. Like, he can recite full Monty Python pieces without... that's not useless. Yeah, that's useless. But he always used this word jubilous. He would say, that makes me jubilous. And I thought, jubilous? Wow, I've never heard that word. And so I went on listening to that word for a couple of years, and I could tell from the context of that word that it meant nervous. And yet I thought, well, who am I to question Paris? But I decided to look up the word and discovered it was not really a word. And so I said to Paris, you know what, that word you used, jubilous, it's not really a word. He said, yes it is. I said, show me. So he looked, and he discovered it wasn't a word either. So that is true. It's not a word. I even looked last night, and it's still not a word. You don't get it.
What I told her was she wasn't looking in the right dictionary.
So, I worked through the words properly. Many of you know that, I worked on that word Thanksgiving, where Paris always says Thanksgiving. And I worked on the words like poem, because he always says poem. And I've never been able to quite get that corrected. But, it was fun trying. So Paris, there's lots of things I'll miss. I'll miss you showing me how to do stuff on my computer. I'll miss solving the world's problems together. I'll miss brainstorming ideas with you and then each of us using our gifts to bring them to fruition. I'll miss your laughter filling our office, your ability to diffuse a difficult situation, and I'll miss being beat over the head on Palm Sunday. Here, I'm going to beat you. Beat on the head on Palm Sunday with palms. So come on over here so I can beat you on the head. And I'll miss hearing you sing, Were You There, on Monday, Thursday. And then I'll miss your quirky sayings, things like, I'm proud you got to see me, or find someone you haven't spoken to and tell them, hey. We all had to do that. So the list goes on. I know people have been asking you about what your plan is for retirement. So I thought you might just want to wear this so you don't have to keep answering the questions. So if you'll come open this.
Don't fall off.
for the gift. So if you'd like to come up here, all the staff. Pam, Rich, come on up. Gene, come on up. Paris, we have a gift to present to you. If you will come receive it.
Right on top. Perfect. Thank you. You're looking very dapper there, Brian.
On behalf of the staff, we'd like to present to you the thing that's in this bag. So if you want to pull it out, it waits the time.
Oh my God.
It's my own tombstone. It says, God is still speaking, are you listening? June 3rd, 2018.
It's a garden stone, for those of you who can't see it. And Rich said, well, that's because Paris is our rock. I said, well, no, not really. Jesus is our rock. Paris is our second rock from the sun.
By the way, we reminded Lois it was third rock from the sun, but you know, she uses a different dictionary, so whatever. All right. Rich Wagner also had a few things that he wanted to say about Paris, and so we're going to have him next.
I won't be up here very long, but there is a point where I'm going to say Monty Python, and I want everyone to just groan. I've had 16 years of fake laughing at Monty Python jokes. So you need to get it out of your system and get this groan out of your system. Okay, maybe I'm speaking for myself. Some of you know I'm the church steward. I've been doing this the last few years, so I walk around the church and I see many things, you know, the bowels of the church, the closets, the old instruction manuals, old church directories, the organ closet, the organ blower, just about anything and everything, manuals for vacuum cleaners that were thrown away probably 30 years ago. But we still got to keep the manual. But then one day, I came across this sign, reserved for senior pastor. His own parking space. I found it in the basement, naturally. So I don't know the exact origins of this sign, but you know when Paris always asks permission during the sermon if he wants to share a story of a disciple and or a family member. Well, I asked so-and-so permission if I could share this story. So I'd always look at the person just to see if their body language, if you really asked them. So I asked Paris if I could share a story about this sign. I didn't didn't ask Paris a thing about this sign. So, you know, with change, Paris is retiring, and with change and everything, thought we had to make a few changes to this sign. So, what did I do? What all church members do, disciples? I formed a committee. So we met 4 times a week for an hour for 12 months. And we came up with this change. Reserved for senior. I know this party's nice and everything, and fond farewell. Thank you, Danny's and everyone, for doing this. But really, we're kind of putting Paris, you know, sending him out on his way into retirement, or maybe we're putting him out to pasture, maybe, or a little play on words. We're putting him out to pasture. Then as the committee continued to meet, we thought, well, we gotta find out, this sign needs a continuing home in his garage. You know, he hangs it up. So, you know, we're all getting, none of us are getting any younger, and so we get forgetful, might forget a name, where we set down a cup of coffee, put our keys. Who knows? Paris might even forget where he parks his car. So could you imagine that? So for that, we have this. It's reserved for senior moment. And to get a head start on your sign, I found a piece of tape in the office.
Pay for it?
No. Just like all the coffee I drink. Oh, you don't have to get up. I'll bring it right down to you.
All right. We have another musical performance, and we're going to call up the, I believe it's the OMG, Old Married Guys Barbershop group, so come on up.
Hello again. Oh, we made it. Yay. So this would be one of the quartets I sing with. We have to be called RTQ. Whee! And working on this. Hold on, getting set up. This is the scientific part of it all. And once we get things set, they're shorter. Anyway. In honor of the event, I thought we would bring things back home and do what Paris does all the time. So we're going to do some solemn religious numbers for you that should bring you way back. Yes. Yeah, they talk about heaven. Cloud contains pennies from down. Trade them for a package of sunshine and flowers. If you want the things you love, you must have showers. So when you hear it thunder, don't run under a tree. There'll be pennies from heaven for you and me. Let's trade them for a package of those sunshine and flowers, pretty flowers. If you really want the things that you love, you must have showers. So when you hear it thunder, don't run under a tree. There'll be pennies from heaven for you and me. There'll be pennies from heaven for you and me. Pennies from heaven for you and These mics have gotten much more live since I was last up here. For our next solemn religious number, a little song by the Imperials. Back. Here? All right. I'm going to tell you about the coming of the judgment. Fare thee well, fare thee well. I'm going to tell you about the coming of the judgment. Fare thee well, fare thee well. There's a better day a-coming. Fare thee well, fare thee well. There's a better day a-coming. Fare thee well, fare thee well. In that rain in the morning. Fare thee well, fare thee well. In that rain in the morning. Fare thee well, fare thee well. When you see the light flashing, fare thee well, fare thee well. When you hear the thunder crashing, fare thee well, fare thee well. When you see the stars falling, fare thee well, fare thee well. Hear old Gabriel's trumpet calling, fare thee well, fare thee well. In that rain in the morning, fare thee well, fare thee well. In that rain in the morning, fare thee well, fare thee well. When you see the lightning flashing, then you'll hear the thunder crashing. When you see the stars are falling, then you'll hear the chariots calling. Good news, chariots coming. Good news, chariots coming. So glad chariots coming, and I don't want to be left out. Long white robe in the heaven I know. Long white robe in the heaven I know. Long white robe in the heaven I know. Good news, chariots coming. Good news, chariots coming. So glad chariots coming, and I don't want to be left out. In that rain in the morning, fare thee well, fare thee well. In that rain in the morning, fare thee well, fare thee well. In that rain in the morning, fare thee well, fare thee well. In that rain in the morning, fare thee well, fare thee well. In that rain in the morning, fare thee well, fare thee well. In that rain in the morning, fare thee well.
Thank you very much. We're going to continue with our speakers, and we're moving into people who have come from long distances, or we will be shortly, so that includes some of you that will be coming up here soon. But we're going to start with the smooth sounds of Steve Stoffer.
of study, examination, and certification, and declarations, both formal and casual. 40 years of ceremonial installation and pageantry, all culminating today with me standing up here telling dirty jokes. And Paris and I were, you know how Paris, sometimes when he's preaching, he'll say, that wasn't actually true. That's too short. You'll hear some of that today. So Paris and I were in Fox River Trio. We spent many a long night exchanging some wisdom and a lot of dirty jokes. That story's totally true, by the way. Out on my driveway. He'd make me laugh, and I'd say, you should use that in a sermon. He'd say, yeah, I'd get away with that joke once. Once. Well, my friend, the once has come. Hold my beer. It's been a while since I've done one of these, so I thought I'd model Paris. I brought my Apple device. I hope none of you have plans for the next 30 to 90 minutes. So I thought I'd mimic a few other comedians, so I started by taking an Ambien. I also watched... See, Colleen bet me nobody would get that one. I watched 40 hours of Dean Martin roasts. Anyone remember Donald Rickles? So I get a call from Pat Siegel, says we're going to roast Paris. Would I be willing to be a part of it? I'm like, So you want me to roast Paris, right? Are you serious? You want me? I'm like the beer and dirty jokes guy. You want me roasting Paris? So we're on the phone, and I said, so this is at church? Oh, no, it's at a bar? Oh, well, that was close. So who all's coming to this barbecue? Oh, roast. Yeah, who's coming to the roast? Oh, all the old ladies from church. That's great. That's awesome. Oh, Paris's mom is coming. That's super. I can't wait to see that. Oh, his grandkids are coming. Great. Are any dogs coming by any chance? Because, like, little old lady and kids and dogs, I do great. Everybody else kind of thinks I'm an asshole. What else we got here? So I hope everybody's having a glass of wine or four. I've got to say this is the first time I've worked in a while with a crowd that was predominantly sober, so congratulations on that. But it isn't my first pastoral roast. Back in my Peace Corps days, back in Borneo, we did it all the time. I find that if you use a little salt and lime, that just like cats, they roast up really well. That story isn't true, by the way. At least not about roasting pastors. Yeah, Paris, that goes back to all the stories that we shared back in the Peace Corps days about the Pagawi tribe. They were terrible navigators, the Pagawi. Every time we'd get out of the fork in the road, they'd get out the wagon and yell, "Where the Pagawi?" Terrible navigators. Great cooks, the Pagawi. Nothing? Okay, I got like 3 people in the middle back here. They're just dying. Solitary hour. Thank you. I appreciate it. Colleen, give them some money. I appreciate that. Anyway, I'd like to regale you all the tasteless jokes and adolescent boy humor that we've shared. As my mom used to say, well, maybe when you're older. You got that, Butler? When you're older. I'll share the jokes when you're older. I always ask Butler why she doesn't date men her own age. She says there aren't any. So in Paris and my inside jokes, I have to tell you a thing about me. I get parking. I always get parking. My mother-in-law used to say that it was annoying. My wife has a more colorful word for it. But one time it was December 24th, and they're holding this present for us at Woodfield Mall. And we got to get up to Wisconsin. It's a thing for my sister. So we drive up to Woodfield on December 24th at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And I get parking by the front door at P.F. Chang's. And my wife spins around and she's hot. She said, "How do you do this?" I said, "It's clean living." She didn't buy it, clean living. I said, "What are you talking about? I'm as clean as a preacher's sheet." She said, "BS, I know you're a pastor." So there's that. I was a little worried about what to say today, how far I really wanted to go, because I'm not really good at boundaries. And so I called my pal Marilyn Kaufman and I said, should I say this? Should I say that? Where should I go with this? Where should I go with that? She said, "Steve, just relax. Have fun with it. You're there to wish Paris and Penny a happy retirement. Enjoy yourself." I said, "Yeah." Wait, I get to tee off on Penny too? Sweet. So, for those that don't know Penny all that well, she's Italian. And if you want to learn some Italian words, ask Penny if she's Italian. I know she wants to rebut this, she's already started. So I'll give you a quick lesson in Italian so that you can speak and understand better with Penny. When you want to say hello to someone in Italian, you say, "How you doing?" Okay? Everybody try that. See, it's just like being in Italy, isn't it? Wow. Anybody else ever seen Penny give somebody the finger? That's awesome. So I'll give you a couple of other quick Italian words, and you can say things like, "Forget about it." You can say, "Definitely." You can say, "Hey, who died and made you boss?" So I love spending time with the Donehoos and Penny's Italianness. It actually hurts me to say the word that way, but hey, Penny's Italianness and Paris' Southernisms. So over the years we've spent a lot of time together, and I thought I would share one kind of quick view into what that looked like when we'd sit and have dinner. So we were sitting around one night, and Paris and Colleen and I were there, and Penny came in after a long day, and she says, "Hey baby, how you doing?" And he says, "By gum, I'm busier than a cat covering crap on a marble floor." She says, "Forget about it, I'm gonna make 42 pounds of lasagna for dinner." Not spit. I'm so hungry I can eat the north end of a southbound polecat. Oh, you remember we got to go to that grandniece's cousin's sister's uncle's second cousin's baptism on Saturday? Where we're going to meet every papist between here and New Jersey? Oh, what was that? Nothing, dear. Ain't we also having the kids over for barbecue on Sunday? Forget about it. I already made 72 pounds of ribs, bacon, and some salad. Woo, doggy, just butter my butt and call me a biscuit. Yeah. Seriously, I'll wrap this up. We're going to miss you very much. All of the deep philosophical discourse and theology that we've had over the years, all of the great music, and especially your beautiful voice, even your way of organizing and your sense of punctuality and staying on top of things. Oh wait, I forgot, Lois is still going to be around. We're all covered. Everything's good.
Look out, he's coming after you. Thank you for the segue, Steve, because Penny, it's your turn. Come on. Let's hear it for Penny Donehoo.
Here comes the rebuttal.
Do you know how I cringe? Italiano basta. I can't roast my husband because I have to live with him. But I do have a story that I wanted to share, and many of you know this already, but when I was going to marry Paris, I had no problems about marrying him, but I had huge doubts about being a pastor's wife. That anybody that knows me, it really doesn't suit me. So he was interviewing at the church, and we were engaged at the time, and he said that they wanted to meet me and have dinner. I'm like, and so I went to this dinner. It took me forever to pick out what to wear. And went to this dinner, and there's this committee, and I'm sitting and we're talking, and everything seems like it's going fine. And I get up to go to the bathroom, and then this sweet little lady follows me into the bathroom. And I thought, oh no, here it comes. So it was Mary Vickers. Not everybody knows Mary Vickers, but sweet lady. She comes up to me and she says in the bathroom, you know, we always have the pastor's wife run the women's auxiliary. And those of you that know me, I do not have a poker face. And it just went. And she said, gotcha, we don't even have a woman's inside. And then she went on to give me the best advice ever. She said, our church doesn't care what you do. She said, you do what you want to do. If you never come to church, that's fine. Your job is to be his wife. Said, do what you want to do and what you feel comfortable doing. Come when you want, don't come when you want. Get involved with what you want, don't get involved with what you want. Just do what you would do naturally. And that's what I've done, and it has been easy. And if it hadn't been for a congregation like you, it wouldn't have been easy. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Penny. Walter Kamanis, where are you? All right. You are next, sir.
Middle microphone. Hi, I'm Walter Kamanis. Some of you don't know me. You're lucky. Those of you that did, Carol and I moved from here, from the church, from the community, ended up in Minneapolis. It's just not cold enough here, so we thought we'd go there. I've got a few words to say about Paris here. Studiously researched and written a long time ago in that bathroom. Jeez, I got more time than I thought, okay. First of all, to Lois, my sympathies, because Lois and I share the same thing. She doesn't have the same deep voice that I do, but she can't sing any better than I can, nor can I sing any better than she. At our church in Manhattan Beach, California, I was told when I started singing Happy Birthday at one of the gatherings for a group, the choir director came up to me, and said, don't you ever dare do that again. So, and then Lois asked what he's going to do in retirement. What do you mean, what's he going to do in retirement? Come on, he's been retired for years. Yeah, voice, let's see. This is for the end. I have to organize my stuff a little better here. Let's see. Oh, yeah, Paris. We both share a love for Monty Python, and I'm going to ask him up here shortly. I have something to give him. But one of the funniest things going, one of my favorite shticks, is this guy in Old England who is coming to the minister's house to ask for the minister's daughter's hand. And he happens to clean toilets, right? And so Paris does it to the nth degree with the accent and all. So we'll ask him to do that. Let's see. Several months ago, I was at the Drags in Athens, Georgia. So that's not too far from it. Drag races, I dress like this. Drag races, cars, making the circuit. So I thought of Paris and was doing some multitasking, and so I was looking for one of Paris's favorite things that he talked about church so many times that I thought he had stock in this company. But could you come up here for a second, please, Paris? And you're going to have to get up here because you're going to have to talk like Ian Palin, or Michael Palin, I'm sorry. So here, part of my multitasking was to see if I could find one of the things that he always talked about. So let's see if you recognize, it's not the exact thing, I couldn't get the real moon pie, so I got a marshmallow moon pie from Little Debbie that she always talked about.
You got an RC Gold to go with it?
I drank that with, oh, never mind. So if you would regale us with the Michael Palin routine, the toilet brush and all. Oh, that's wonderful. I'm always out of context. Here he is.
Oh.
Thanks.
Only my brother and a few others of you will know that. Well, Pat knows it, right? See, this guy comes, he's talking to a very proper Englishman about wanting his daughter's hand in marriage, and he says, and the father says, well, are you employed? And he says, yeah, I clean out public lavatories. And he says, is there a possibility for advancement? And he says, yeah. After 5 years, they give me a brush.
Good night, everybody. That's it. All right. Joy, I think you're down here somewhere, correct? Here's the sister, yes? Joy, she's... Oh, there you are.
Okay, so I'm Joy. If you don't know the order of the siblings, I'm the third. Harris is first, and our sister Pam, who is in Africa on a mission trip, then me, and then Tim. And so I was nominated to come up and speak for the family. Actually, it was the bottom of the barrel because I was the only one that could come, and Tim said no, and so it fell to me. So as I prepared for such an honor as this, the first thing I did was I called on all his admiring parishioners, but that didn't take very long. I don't want to go on too long, mostly because I'm afraid Paris will nod off. But please allow me the honor of sharing a brief history of my brother's life. Paris Nolan was born on October 14th, 1952 in Atlanta, Georgia. His childhood name was Chip, like chip off the old block. Although now it could be chocolate chip, or potato chip, or fish and chips.
Don't forget the bacon chips.
Bacon chips, that's true. He grew up in DeKalb and Fulton counties, graduating from Roswell High School. He took guitar lessons beginning when he was 9 or 10, something like that. Taught himself to play several instruments. He's an accomplished guitarist. And the banjo, well, you can hold the banjo and make some noises come out of it. You know what you say to a banjo player in a three-piece suit? Will the defendant please rise? Quite early, my brother realized he was being called into professional ministry. Either that or he realized professional sports were not going to work out. As a family, we're all sports challenged. We're musicians, not athletes. Football might have been a great opportunity for Paris, but the size of his head made finding an appropriate helmet impossible. It's not so much his whole head, but his forehead. Have you seen his forehead? A forehead, it's more of a 5 head. If he in retirement grows his beard real long, he can be the Amish boogeyman. He surrendered to the call of ministry as a young man at Roswell First Baptist Church, and haven't we all been blessed by the ministry of my brother Harris? Personally, I enjoyed some high-quality naps during his service. He was ordained in the ministry in 1973 and earned his bachelor's degree at Georgia Southern College. He attained a Master's of Divinity from Southwestern Seminary. It's unclear if Harris planned to earn his master's in divinity, or if he just thought the program was about that fluffy Christmas candy that you make out of envelopes. In 1984, he published a book. In 1984, he published a book entitled Prayer in the Life of Jesus. We were so proud. Our mama was so proud. If you haven't had a chance to read this important work, it's still available on Amazon. See, I even printed it out. Prayer in the Life of Jesus, paperback, 78 cents. And I've been calling him Dr. Brooks. Harris has spent quite a bit of time serving in the Baptist Church, which makes a lot of sense when you consider the number of potluck luncheons. It was there that, in the Baptist Church, that Harris felt the first stirrings of the Holy Spirit. Or maybe it was just gas. He served as the pastor of Little Ogeechee Baptist Church, Sardis Baptist Church, Lost Mountain Baptist Church, and he's been an instructor for New Orleans Baptist Church. His decision to move from Georgia to Illinois was alarming to us. After all, no one in our family had ever been this far north if they were not a prisoner of war. Parkridge Community Church, stepping away from his Baptist roots and the endless supply of casseroles and Jell-O salads. There are many theories why Harris left the Baptist Church, but I personally think it had something to do with the booze. You have to know Baptist, you know. During his time at Parkridge, he met his feisty Sicilian wife, Penny. To those of us who know Harris well, his choice to marry an educator was of no real surprise. And her years of managing children with problem behaviors helped her to be In addition to all his fine achievements, Harris became the father of two daughters, Meg Pfister and Catherine Keenan. It was here in Elgin where both of his daughters married, and he became a grandfather. Perhaps the role of granddaddy is the one he's been planning for all of his life, and we are very thankful. He found his final professional ministry opportunity here at the United Church of Christ in Elgin in 2002, where the good people of Elgin learned that there's a fine line between a long, drawn-out sermon and a hostage situation. Say to you folks, you open your arms and hearts to him and his family, and we've all been blessed by your example of Christ. So here we are today, celebrating his retirement, and what a thrill it is to be here honoring my big brother. He looks great to be retiring, doesn't he? He's still young at heart, slightly older in other places. In fact, this morning he was trying to pull the wrinkles out of his socks before he realized he wasn't wearing them. So, no matter how many college degrees, skill development courses, and professional accreditations you've received, there's one more qualification to receive on Monday morning: pastor of good whatever. Masters of good whatever.
into hour 3. I'm asked to remind you that the cake has been cut, so if you have not gotten cake yet, now would be a good time. Or later, as you leave, before we're finished. Anyway, we're going to call up Meg and Kathy, I believe, to kind of round out our speaking portion of our program. Let's hear it for Meg and Kathy.
Well, as you guys know, it is officially Paris Donehoo Day here in Elgin. So every holiday means carols. So Meg and I have written some Paris Donehoo Day carols to honor our dad. We're beginning to see a lot of our dads everywhere we go. Take a look into his tent. He's playing the banjo again. Singing folk and tapping his toe. We're beginning to see a lot of our dads. No one could love him more. But the thing we don't want to see is him unexpectedly at our own. They're so delightful, but his retirement is frightful. And since he's no place to go, play banjo, play banjo, play banjo. Oh, he doesn't show signs of stopping, and some looks we've all been swapping. And since he's now out of snow, play banjo, play banjo, play banjo. Oh, this one requires an outfit.
If you can't see, it says Happy Paris Donehoo Day. And it's a picture of him with one of his favorite quotes.
Have a happy Paris Donehoo Day. Let your heart be light. From now on, his troubles will be out.
official decree.
Guess what, Dennis? You get to follow that. I'm sorry, but, you know, that was awesome. Let's welcome our moderator, Dennis McCrout. Here he is.
All right. Hey, Paris, come on up here, all right? I wouldn't blame you now if you just ran and never ever came back from your family too. That's pretty merciless. Paris, thanks for everything for these 16 years. The congregation got together and took up a collection to ease you into retirement. So I wanted to present that to you. And I'm thinking Nightmare on Chicago Street, Amish Pudding Man. You'll be all set.
$4,550. Oh, it's up to me? A lot of customs I am to public speaking. I don't, I've said this before, but a lot of stuff I said this morning I've said before. I have put down more roots in this church than any other one I've ever served. I put down deeper roots in this town of Elgin than any other place I've lived since I moved away from dear old Roswell, Georgia. And this is a very bittersweet day for me. Jim Olson had to leave, but when I saw him this morning, I said, everybody keeps saying, "Are you okay?" And I said, and my answer is, and he said, an appropriate answer is, hell no. Because that's the way I felt. I'm one of those type of guys that, in the moment, I'm caught up in what I'm doing, and then my grief hits me later. I've told you the story before about how I had a delayed reaction to my dad's death. It took about 2.5 months to really start to grieve. So I know that today, I'm just holding it together. But in a few weeks, maybe tomorrow morning, who knows when it'll hit, then I know that I'm really going to, the enormity of this is going to hit me. It's not just leaving you. How do you walk away from something you've done for 40 years and loved it? Walk away and just flip a switch and say, well, that was fun, what's next? You can't do that. Especially when it's as ingrained as it's been in me. But I have to say that I would have never been able to do any of the things that I have been able to accomplish if it had not been, first of all, for my family. I was telling everybody the only thing I was worried about with the roast was my family. And I think now you know why. And also the people that I have worked with in the churches that I've served, particularly here. I heard William Jones, a magnificent African-American preacher, one time describe his relationship with his church as saying, no pastor ever south of heaven or north of hell hasn't had a better church. And that's what I leave you with here. No pastor. There's never been a church in my life, south of heaven or north of hell, that I have enjoyed more than this one, and have seen so much potential in, and had so many good times. I wish I could think of something really funny to say, but all I'll leave you with is, I love you with all my heart and always will. God bless you.
Jean Tui, where are you? Oh, there she is. We are going to wrap up our afternoon with a last musical performance. I'm going to ask Jean and her group to come up here for the parting glass. Can we just take a moment and please say thank you to the committee that put all of this together today? If you were on that committee, could you please stand up? I know we have other people standing, but would you please stand? Thank you so much for all the work and everything you put together. It's been a phenomenal afternoon.
This is our parting gift to Paris. It's called the parting glass, and I want you all to take your glasses and be ready to raise your glass for this song to Paris.